$1 million. Which of the following controls emotions in the brain? A. The limbic system. B. The endocrine system. C. Nervular system. Or D. The cardiovascular system.
You know, Regis, this is really interesting. My friend Jorge asked me the same question while we were playing backgammon.
Hey Juanito,
Yeah?
do you know what system controls emotions in the brain?
Yeah?
Do you want to find out?
Sure.
Well, Juanito, I think I'm just going to explain the entire corticalization of the brain instead. The outer region of the brain is called the cerebral cortex and is responsible for processing information and voluntary movement. The brain is further divided into two hemispheres, the left and right, and four lobes, occipital, frontal, temporal, and parietal. The left hemisphere is concerned with language, math, and logic, while the right deals with pattern and facial recognition as well as non-verbal thinking. Overall, the left hemisphere is better at focusing on a specific thing, while the right is better at realizing the thing in the relationships as a whole. The occipital lobe concerns itself with vision, the parietal with taste, the frontal with speech, and the temporal with smell and hearing. Another area of the brain, the limbic system, found around the brainstem, deals with emotions. This includes the amygdala, the hippocampus, the olfactory bulb, the hypothalamus, and the thalamus. The amygdala is an area of the brain that specializes in detecting emotional content of facial expressions and attributing emotions to those expressions. Like, for example, anger would be linked to a scowl. The hippocampus, similarly, is adept in associating images with emotional content. The frontal lobe is the area of the brain that affects emotions the most, however, as can be seen with the case of Phineas Gage. In 1848, Gage, a railroad worker, was working on the railroad when a stick of dynamite blew a railroad spike through his head. He was not killed, but his personality, previously upbeat and jolly, turned to sour and mean-spirited. The organs of the limbic system can also help to retrieve information from the memory. Like if we remember that chocolate tastes good, when we smell chocolate, we will salivate and get hungry, much like Pavlov's dogs.
Ah, damn, lost another file. Gonna have to reboot again. Hey, Dwight, do you want an Altoid? What do you think? In school, we learned about this scientist who trained dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell by feeding them whenever a bell rang. So for the past couple weeks, I've been conducting a similar experiment. Dwight, one Altoid. Okay. Altoid? Sure. And Dwight? Green Pig? Yes. What are you doing? What?
I don't know. Well, my mouth tastes so bad all of a sudden. Oh.
That Jorge. He's a character. A. Limbic system. Final answer.
We have $1 million. We are now on the final question. You are a millionaire, but the true question is, can you be the next billionaire? So let's do it. Which of the following is a name for the neurological disorder characterized by multiple personalities? A. Schizophrenia. B. Bipolar disorder. C. dissociative identity disorder. D, Parkinson's disease.
$1 billion. It's a lot of money.
It is. I see you are deep in thought.
Deep.
Would you like to use a lifeline?
No. I think I know it. I think I know it. 'Cause you know, I'm not that normal.
Hey Pablo, you know I've been thinking, the brain, it's a pretty powerful thing.
Yep.
Can do lots of functions.
Some overwhelming stuff.
Overwhelming.
It's kind of like the overwhelmingness of having a billion of something.
Yeah. I wish I had $1 billion or something.
Hey Juanito, who are you talking to?
Oh, what's up, Jorge?
Hey, who are you talking to?
Oh, dude, my friend Pablo. Pablo, this is Jorge. Jorge, Pablo.
Hey Pablo. There's nobody there.
Dude, what are you talking about? You're hurting Pablo's feelings. Poor Pablo.
There's nobody there. You know, I think you should get your head checked out. Because there's like this one thing called schizophrenia, and I think you have it.
What's schizophrenia?
Well, Juanito, schizophrenia is a mental disorder. It's basically caused by an increased concentration of dopamine in the brain. Now, dopamine is a neurotransmitter, and it causes or interferes with cognition, kind of, which is the ability to think or move. And there are 3 main types of schizophrenia. The first type is catatonic schizophrenia, which usually either you're paralyzed or your movement is screwed up in some way. The second kind is disorganized schizophrenia, where speech patterns are jumbled and all over the place. And the third type is definitely the most famous, which is paranoid schizophrenia.
I developed schizophrenia because of genetic factors in my family. At the age of 14, I heard voices that my mother thought was my inner voice or my intuition. My mother never suspected I was ill because I never displayed the physical symptoms of neglective self-care or social withdrawal. During high school, I developed distorted thinking, believing everyone was staring at me, and later developed the belief that beings in the sky were watching me. Even in my room, I believed I was not alone.
Paranoid schizophrenia is definitely the kind people associate with the term schizophrenia. This one is characterized by hallucinations, usually like auditory, like you hear something that's not really there, or visual, where you see something that's not really there. But it can affect the other senses as well. And that's caused by the increased dopamine, because that causes the senses to work in the brain. Now, but be careful. Don't get schizophrenia confused with bipolar disorder or dissociative identity disorder. Bipolar disorder is characterized by 2 different moods usually. A manic mood, which is crazed and frenzied, and also a depressive mood, which is very dull and depressed. Dissociative identity disorder, on the other hand, is also referred to as multiple personalities, which is where not only do people have different moods, but to them it's like they're different people, like they can't remember what's happening in the other mood. So yeah, just make sure you don't get those crossed up.
So that's how I know it's not schizophrenia. And C, dissociative identity disorder.
Feels good.
What am I gonna do with $1 billion?
Get busy living or get busy dying.